What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Team PKR. So right here what we have with us is an 880 MS880 on a 45 stroke that we're going to be unboxing, that we're going to be building for a customer. I got this the other day here. Haven't had time to unbox it, but today will be the unboxing of it, taking a look at all the parts that we have and just the work that we have to do. So I'll go ahead and get the unboxing done here, and then I'll show you guys throughout the video just the process on how to build an MS880. There is a bit of work that needs to be done. There's decking that needs to be involved. The decking also is dependent on how big your stroke is, right? So honestly, the 880 does need to be built on a 45 stroke to be optimum. You could do it on a 40 stroke, on a 42 stroke. However, I recommend getting a 45 stroke and doing it 60 by 45, right? Because that's going to definitely give you the 120 cc power that you're looking for there. So let's go ahead and get to the unboxing and see what we have inside here. Lots and lots of plastic bags here. Alright, so here we have our pipe. Alright, so I'll need to weld a flange on here and then get a slip-on flange. I'll probably weld a slip-on flange for this one here, since it has the spring mounts for it, right? Make it much easier to take on and off, but certainly a nice looking pipe. What else we got in here? Alright, and here's the jug. Alright, so let's take out the plastic. See here, we got a nice clean jug in here. Transfers look clean, so we'll do a little bit of port work there, right, just to kind of get it get the transfers opened up some, let this breathe a little bit more. But certainly a nice clean cylinder to start with here. Yeah, we have a BTG clutch here that's a little bit rusted, but we'll need to do some work to clean it up. All right, so this will be running on a BTG. We have the mounting bolts there, all the hardware. Here's our flower nut for the BTG. Here's our gasket. A couple of spark plugs that we have here. Just more padding. And that bolt there, right? So we have that. Alright, so we got this maybe 24 millimeter carb here. Just ready to rock and roll. Alright, so we'll set that to the side here. Got a Navy air filter that came with it. Here's the cam, clutch cam cover. Some more bolts, there's a clutch inside. HT spring, we got the clutch. couple other parts in here that we'll need to look at, see what we got going on, see if anything is potentially missing. We got our jets in here, some more bolts, some more nuts and bolts. Looks like there's a bucking bar in here. I'm not sure if there's a ball bearing or not, but got all these parts here that we're going to be able to use to get this build going. And then we have the CDI and magnet for the magneto and the magnet in here, it looks like. So we'll put that to the side as well. Actually, we'll just put everything back in the box so we know where everything is. Hardware here. Alright, we'll put the card back in here since it was in here, so we know what's in here. We'll put this back in here. Put this back in here as well. Alright. What else do we have here? Here we go. Here we have the case. Looks like we got a CDI cable of some kind here. Here's our CDI that looks quite chewed up here, to be honest with you, but see how we make this work here. And so here's our CDI. And here is the bottom end with a bearing. It's supposed to be other more bearings here, but I may be the one providing the bearings here, so. But here's our bottom end, right? So this is a 110 bottom end. It already has the transfers JB welded. The owner of this already JB welded these transfers, so this looks good. I'm going to take this case apart here because I have to swap out the crank. So this is a 40-stroke crank, right? An Avenger 40-stroke crank. But we're going to use a Ken Henson 45-stroke crank to do this build. And so we'll be taking this apart to then remove any bearings that are here already in here, and then add any bearings that we need to add. And then we're going to need to deck the case, and we're going to need to deck the cylinder as well. Right, so with this piston, more than likely, I believe it's going to be 3 millimeters of decking on the case, and then 3 millimeters of decking on the cylinder here. So what we'll do is we'll measure 3 millimeters here, measure about 3 millimeters here, right, and then we'll do the decking to match this here. So it's going to be a total of 6 millimeters that gets removed, give or take, right? But we have to constantly check to make sure that it's the right measurement. So here's everything for you guys, right? Everything for this 880 build that we're going to do. The crank, I do have somewhere else that I have to get it, but this is the beginning of the MS880 build.